Hey guys, it's Vincent. Today I'm going to be telling you guys why I love open source. So let's get right into it. First of all, what is open source, you might be asking? Open source is a type of computer software where the source code is released under a license, typically the GNU Public License, such as the GPL, or the MIT license, where the copyright holder grants users the right to study, change, and distribute the software to anyone and for any purpose. Meaning, for example, something like Linux or GIMP or Kdenlive, you can actually take that software, you can fork it, meaning make a copy of it for yourself and make a new project out of it, change the code and make a whole new piece of software, give that back to the community, and then we all benefit. Right? So things like that are really great. So let's get into that. I don't want to spoil this by giving away what I like. So first of all, one of the things I love about open source is the choice that it gives us, right? The choice to use open source alone is amazing. But getting past that, the fact that you have so much software that you can use to do most of the tasks you want. Like, for example, in the video editing world, we've got OpenShot, Kdenlive, all kinds of different stuff. We've got OBS, Simple Screen Recorder, right? That's just video stuff. We've got GIMP, and I almost forgot Blender. We got Blender. That's a big one too. All right, and these are all open source pieces of software that run on Linux, Windows, and Mac. Well, I don't know about all these, but some of these will run on Windows and Mac as well as Linux. I know that GIMP will, and Kdenlive kind of runs on Windows from what I've heard recently. They're kind of going that direction. OpenShot does run on Windows, and I think it runs on Mac as well. But there's a lot of different software out there in the open source world, and that choice is very empowering, and it gives you a lot of flexibility to structure your workflow the way you need it. And if you're someone like me that's a developer, you can actually write additions to the program, right, to help yourself, do something better, right? Add a feature or change a feature to do what you need, and then you can communicate that back to the community. You can contribute that back to the community, I should say, to allow everyone to be able to use that change to better the software, right? So things like that is really great, right? Another example of software, right, that's open source that I use, for example, is Aweather here. You can see on the screen. This is a little weather app. It's very simple, and it allows you to look at the current radar, see the current warnings that are in effect from the National Weather Service. Little things like that are pretty advanced, right? Now, Aweather supposedly supports Windows. I've never really dealt with that much. I do know it runs under Linux, but the developer has not been maintaining it much lately, so that's not no fun. I really hope someone, picks back up the maintainment of that. To be fair, it's running fine, so, I mean, hey, as long as it keeps running and it's packaging and stuff. But I have noticed their repo, they have a dedicated PPA repo on Ubuntu to install it, and I've noticed that repo is not working anymore to get updates. So, yeah, guys, you might want to fix that. But anyways, Aweather's really great. But the point is that flexibility of that choice, right? To be able to do things in the way that you want is great. In the Linux world, for example, we have all these different desktop environments like GNOME, Mate, Linux Mint's Cinnamon desktop, right, which is available on other distros as well. The Deepin desktop, which is on the Deepin version of Linux, but you can get on other versions too, right? Paphion, which is on Elementary OS, right? These are all different desktop environments. They do things differently and allows you to build your whole workflow the way you want, right? That's very powerful. So things like that's pretty cool. I also use GIMP, right? GIMP is really flexible. There's also things like Krita out there which you can use, which is kind of like Photoshop, right? These are all open source tools, which again, you have that control, or not that control, but you have that flexibility and that freedom, right, to be able to move around, right? That choice and that flexibility is very empowering. Now, two, I just hinted at it, control. Control meaning that you can change the code to your needs. I kind of already hinted at this. For example, this means you could add a much needed feature and then release it so everyone can use it, right? So again, that's a very empowering thing as a developer. If you're not a developer, then not so much. But you do still have that control. You just not necessarily have code control because you still have that code control in theory because you can still get the source code, but you don't know what to do with it, right? If you're not a developer. Well, you are still in control in the sense that you, for example, on Linux can control your updates. On Windows 10, right, you have to be an enterprise customer, or you have to have Windows 10 Pro to be able to delay updates and things like that. And they really want you to, update. And updates are good from a security standpoint, but you don't want to do a UI update or something until you're ready, right? And a lot of apps, are doing that. And Microsoft is pushing different apps, then change things like that on you. In the Linux world and the open source world, you have that control to say, we're going to push this update out exactly when we want to. Right, to my system, right? So if I want to stay on an older version of Ubuntu a little bit longer, I don't have to move immediately. I'm actually still running Ubuntu 16.04 right now on one of my systems, and it's actually the system I'm recording this on because it works fine. It's the system I do my video editing on and stuff like that, and I don't really want to have to move, right? I will eventually move. It's a long-term support release. It's still got security updates, so there's no rush, right? But I have a little bit more time, and I'm not going to rush. I will eventually probably move to 1804 or something else, but for right now I won't, right? So that control is very important. Again, same thing in the open source software world. You have that control, which is very powerful. 3, this comes back to the sharing, which I've also already hinted at. If you can't tell, it's pretty hard not to talk about this without hinting at other stuff for me. 3, my third favorite thing about open source software is what's yours is mine, so to speak. Meaning, because you can share the code with everybody and you can share each other's work and collaborate, it allows for things to be able to create a community. Right? Look at Linux. We have the Linux community. We have the GIMP community. The Kdenlive community, right? All these people get to come together. Developers can come together. Documentation writers can come together. Users can come together. They can all work together to provide the best software for that use case that they all want together. That is very powerful. You don't see that in the proprietary world, guys. You don't. In this world, we actually get to work together to make what's best for the community, not have some company decide what's best for the community, which it makes a lot more sense for the community to be making stuff for the community than somebody that's not in the community to be making stuff for the community. Again, guys, my 3 favorite things about open source. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this is kind of a quick video. Just haven't really thought of the best things to post lately, so I just wanted to post something quick, and this is something I'm very passionate about, and I thought it would be great to put it into a video so you guys know my thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys.